If you stay silent at work, it doesn't go unnoticed. It becomes a threat. The brain hates not knowing, and when it can't read you, it switches into defense mode. Then your silence becomes a mirror. Your coworkers project insecurity, guilt, and fear of looking incompetent. That's why they don't think you're weird. They feel exposed by you. Now pay attention. Trying to fix this by talking more can weaken you. Stay until the end and I'll show you 3 clear signs that your silence intimidates. And the 3-second technique to turn that into respect. The human brain has an old allergy to the unknown. When it doesn't know what someone else is thinking, it interprets it as a risk. Back in prehistoric mode, if I can't predict it, better stay on alert. Then shyness comes in, and silence is not empty. Silence becomes a psychological mirror. While the quiet person is just quiet, coworkers start filling in the gaps with their imagination. And spoiler, nobody imagines something neutral. One thinks he's judging me. Another feels I'm talking too much. Another fears, am I looking incompetent? That's why the point is simple and kind of funny. They don't think you're weird. They feel exposed by you. Because next to silence, people full of insecurity hear their own mind at maximum volume. Sign number 1 is that moment when silence turns into live panic, and the other person tries to cover that panic with words. Picture the scene. A quick meeting, the company hallway, or even the coffee area. You're there, quiet, paying attention, answering only what's necessary. Then the other person starts. So, yesterday I went to the client, then he said this, then I thought that, then the spreadsheet froze, then I had to call support. And before you know it, you even know the client's dog's name. This has a name, verbal diarrhea. It's not because mysterious, or because the person is naturally talkative. Often it's pure anxiety, trying to relieve itself. And here comes a power dynamic that almost nobody admits. The one who talks less holds the conversation's frame. The quiet person isn't losing. They're observing, choosing, filtering. But the one who won't stop talking is, without noticing, asking permission for their nervousness to exist. Please, give me a sign that it's all okay. Silence becomes a test, and the insecure person tries to fill every microsecond because, in their mind, a pause means judgment. He isn't competing with you. He's competing with his own mind screaming, "What if I'm talking nonsense?" The funny part is that the calmer you stay, the more the person feels they need to explain everything, as if you, human lie detector. And no, you didn't say anything. You just stayed quiet. Now comes sign 2, the so-called arrogance projection. The shy person walks into the room, does their work, speaks little, observes more, and that's enough for someone to say, wow, they're so full of themselves, so stuck up. They don't even smile, but there's one detail. Many times they are genuinely humble. They just don't hand out approval after every sentence they hear, and that's where the confusion happens. A lot of people rely on micro-validations all the time. Small smiles. Nodding. Totally. I agree. Nice. When those crumbs don't show up, an insecure brain doesn't think they're focused. It thinks they're judging me. In other words, it's not about the shy person being arrogant. It's about the other person fearing disapproval and disguising that fear as criticism. It's as if their mind says, if I feel inferior, it must be the other person's fault, so I'll call them stuck up. That's more comfortable than admitting I need people to like me. Deep down, silence becomes a blank space. And insecure people hate blank space because they fill it themselves. So they paint the shy person as cold, snobby, difficult. But in practice, they're just not doing social stand-up comedy to calm everyone down. The plot twist is, the less someone asks for approval, the more they seem confident. And for someone who is always chasing validation, other people's confidence looks like arrogance. Sign 3. The law of scarcity, the economy of words. Some people talk all day long. They comment on everything, explain everything, repeat everything, preview what they'll say, and then say it again. The result is verbal inflation. When the person speaks, nobody buys the idea because there are already too many words in circulation. Attention loses value, but with a shy person, the opposite happens. They speak little, so every sentence becomes an event. Not because they're a secret genius, but because scarcity creates weight. And clearest sign of respect or intimidation is when the room changes the moment you decide to speak. You've seen it. The room is loud, someone interrupts, another laughs, a phone buzzes. Then you look up and say, so the real problem here is something else. Suddenly, the volume drops, and one or two people even straighten their posture. The energy freezes, as if the group brain says, wait, now this is real information. This happens because the person who speaks less seems more selective, and whoever selects seems to have control. In practice, your opinion gains gold weight precisely because you don't give it away every second. The funny twist is, while the chatterbox is printing unbacked money, you're operating on the gold standard, and the market always pays attention to what is rare. Here comes the mindset shift. Stop acting like a victim and start acting like a predator. Not in a cruel way, in a strategic way. When someone realizes their silence makes others uncomfortable, the instinct is to try to fix it. Oversmile, agree with everything, talk fast, become the super nice coworker who validates everyone. But that kills exactly what gave you strength. Mystery and control of the pace. The strategy is the opposite. Keep the mystery on purpose. You don't need to over-explain or justify your existence. And here comes the 3-second look technique. It works like this. Someone asks you something or throws a provocation, and you wait 3 seconds before answering. No angry face, no theatrics, just a calm pause, looking like you're processing. Those 3 seconds do two things. They add tension to the conversation and show you don't react on impulse. And in the corporate world, the one who doesn't react usually leads. In the corporate world, everyone thinks they're having a conversation. But often it's a poker game, and most people play with their cards face up. They talk too much, over-explain, and reveal too much. Meanwhile, the silent strategist watches, chooses the moment, and speaks when it has impact. It's not shyness, it's control. So if you want to play this game on hard mode yet, with an unfair advantage, subscribe to the channel. Because here the goal isn't to become extroverted. It's to become dangerous in the right way. Calm, smart, and impossible to read.